Hey, so I am so glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by. If you came here from my TikTok, then let me know in the comment section as well. But let's talk about the state of the MCU and why I feel that Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars are not going to be the hits that Marvel wishes they were. Um, Watching Captain America: Brave New World and seeing the movie told me exactly that. Oh yeah, like y'all got a very much an uphill battle when it comes to giving the payout or the payoff that you want to give us from Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. The issue that the MCU runs up against is familiarity. Not for nothing, that speaks a lot. So, one of the biggest reasons why the first three phases of the MCU, the Infinity Stone saga, worked so well was because we had familiarity. Because we got to know all of our major players. We literally had three Iron Mans, three Captain Americas, uh, two Thors, three Ant Mans, um, and Ant Man, and three. Let me see. So, three Captain Americas, three Ant Mans, three Iron Mans, three Thors, a couple of Hawkeye appearances, and something else. And you get my point, though, right? We basically had a lot of sequels and thirds to get us familiar with our characters, so that by the time Avengers came around, and and four Avengers films. So that's a lot of films that contain a lot of the similar characters that we've grown to love throughout the Infinity Saga. And that played a huge part in us caring and having emotional ties to our favorite heroes in Infinity War when Thanos came to light. The other part, too, is that we got early Thanos, an early peek into Thanos. We saw Thanos' motivations early back in the Avengers, and that led into Infinity War. So the early instances of seeing the big bad Thanos in a couple of spots here and there of certain films gave us a better insight into the big reveal that is Thanos that happened during Infinity War. And that is key to making us feel like the big bads of the saga. Unfortunately, you haven't done that with Doctor Doom. Like, you haven't planted any seeds for Doctor Doom. So we will literally be going into Doomsday almost completely blind, which is never good, because for a character as big as Doctor Doom, you definitely need to have story, a lot of story for him. And the fact that we haven't heard a peep from him. And what would have helped is if we had Brave New World at the beginning of Phase 4, because then you could have built around Sam and have Sam interacting with the new cast of Avengers that y'all could have chosen throughout multiple films, and have Sam Wilson come in and say, okay, we're recruiting you for this because this big bad is coming because he's an issue, Doctor Doom, right? Y'all don't have that. And because you hadn't planted those seeds that will pay off later, it's not going to look like it's going to give off the same payout as Infinity War and Endgame would. Now, I could be wrong. But it's not a lot of story to begin with, because we're pretty much jumping in with Doctor Doom at the story at the beginning of, I guess, Doomsday. The majority of who Doctor Doom is. That's where we're going to learn about him. Because there's only, I guess, 1 or 2 films before Doomsday even comes out, and I don't think we're getting anywhere near close to any exposition of Doctor Doom, which bodes kind of bad. So, with all that in mind, also as well, part of the other reason why it felt so disjointed, I think, this multiverse saga is that there's no continuity, and you kind of fumbled the bag on your bad, who was supposed to be Kang, and the mishandling of Jonathan Majors is a huge red flag for y'all. Had y'all not learned nothing from Johnny Depp? Like, apparently not, because the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is just dead. Like, you can't do anything with that franchise no more because Johnny Depp was so intrinsically tied to it. And the fact that they let him go is just literally the similar vibes as the same way y'all let Jonathan Majors go. Like, you fired a domestic violence victim as opposed to being in his corner. And y'all could have done such great work with that had you stuck it up for Jonathan Majors and even kind of addressed it a little bit of how domestic violence affects both men and women. Because that conversation solely needs to be needed, especially now in 2025. But y'all are too coward to do that. So, so yeah. All that together, along with the lack of character development throughout the films of Doctor Doom, it kind of leads me to believe that, yeah, Doomsday and Secret Wars won't be as big as y'all think. So, with all that in mind, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you feel about the upcoming Doomsday and Secret War films and everything else that's going on in the MCU? Let's talk about it.